Coming to you live from Central Florida on Parasites, Pacemakers, and Presents. That's a lot of P's. Parasites, Pacemakers, and Presents. So, what are these creatures that people are talking about as far as parasites? Back in the day when I was in sports medicine, we didn't talk about parasites. I gave my dog heartworm medications because you don't want your dog to get heartworm. Heartworm is a parasite that gets into their heart, right? And typically, the heartworm medication that you give your dog to prevent heartworms is ivermectin. Ivermectin. So, in the veterinary world, it is very common and is very known that a baby doggy, a puppy gets dewormed, a kitty gets dewormed, a horse gets dewormed, and not just when they're born, but they do dewormers, if you will, throughout their life. Well, I'm not comparing us to dogs, cats, or horses. However, humans do pick up parasites. Malaria is a parasite. Filariasis is a parasite. Amoebas, strongyloides, sporozoas, protozoas are parasites, and they're very, very common in our society. I was just in the Quantum Nutrition Academy teaching this evening, and someone was talking about a case with a little boy got a parasite in the eye. How does that happen? Well, the wind can pick up parasite larvae, and it can get into your eye, right? It can blow into the eye. If you're cleaning out a chicken coop or you're cleaning cat litter, one of the reasons why pregnant women cannot clean out cat litter is because cleaning the cat feces, there could be parasites and you can inhale those parasites, right? So pregnant women aren't supposed to clean cat litter. Cat litter. I thought I put a cat. I did see a putty cat. Oh my goodness. Cat litter. So when you're pregnant, you're not supposed to clean cat litter. But then if you're not pregnant, you can clean cat litter and you don't get parasites. How does that work? And if you're a dude, you don't get parasites. No, everybody gets parasites. However, they don't want pregnant women handling that because they could be compromised, right? They could pick up a parasite and the parasite can cause issues. Parasites can be inhaled. They can get into your eyes. They can get into ears. You can eat them eating raw food like sushi, rare meat. And then vegetarians are like, well, we don't eat meat. Okay, fine, but you can get parasites on vegetables. Parasites can enter the bottom of your feet and can eat your red blood cells and cause you to be anemia. So some women are anemic and they think it's just because they're parasites, because of their parasite periods. They think it's just because of their periods and it could be from parasites. The problem with them is they're very, very difficult to locate through standard medical tests, right? Hi, Amanda. Hi, Allison. It is difficult and challenging to find them in blood work, right? So malaria is a blood test. They take a drop of blood. So it's like taking a drop out of your swimming pool. That's a little dramatic example, and trying to find a parasite in it. But that would be very difficult, right? You could do a colonoscopy, and there is film with parasites swimming away from colonoscopy cameras. You could do an endoscopy and go through the top and see if there's buggies in there. Speaking of talking about eye bugs, my eyes bothering me all of a sudden. You can do a poop test, right? A fecal test. So you poop in a box, they take the poop. So say this is the poop and they scoop a little bit of the poop, they put it under the slide. What if the parasite's over here and they scooped over here? What if the parasite's too big for the scoop? That won't show. What if the parasite's not even in the poop because it's living in your brain, right? Or it's living in your eyeball, or it's living in and my eye is really bothering me. It's living in your heart, right? So some of you know, my father suffered a major heart attack, and I discussed some of what's going on with him. He's still in the hospital. Fingers crossed he gets out on my birthday tomorrow. So hopefully that happens because he's been there 33 days. And when one of the cardiac surgeons was putting in a pacemaker, I asked him, I said, hey, doc, when you're operating on the heart, have you ever seen heart parasites? And he looked at me like I was a crazy freak, right? Like, what are you even talking about? Even though there are videos. There is a show. I don't know if Animal Planet still airs it. It's The Creatures Within. And there's an episode. If you are squeamish, don't watch that show. But there is a show where there's a surgeon and they're pulling parasites out of this person's heart, right? If you talk to a veterinarian, do heartworms exist? They say yes, because they're trying to prevent the dogs and cats and horses from getting not just parasites, but heartworms, because heartworms can kill. And so, yeah, my belief, medical doctors don't agree with me, and that's okay. That yeah, people can get heartworms, right? And it can damage the heart. They like to eat your nutrients. They are parasites. They can cause everything from anxiety, teeth grinding, nightmares, bloating, and nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcerative colitis. All of those diagnoses, all of those symptoms can be linked to parasites. Now, am I saying parasites cause every single thing and problem on earth? No, I'm not saying that. However, I am saying that it is one of the most frequently things that we work on in our office, Palmer Natural Health, because it is missed, right? So in chiropractic school, we didn't really learn about parasites. We learned about some diseases. I think we did talk about malaria, but we really didn't learn much about parasites. My bachelor's degree is in sports medicine. We really did not talk about parasites at all. And it wasn't until I graduated from chiropractic school and took thousands and thousands of hours in holistic nutrition and those types of seminars that I learned, yeah, parasites exist. And I learned the reason why every single day of my life, from as long as I could remember, I was nauseous, right? I was nauseous. I would wake up in the morning and my mom, super sweet, she'd have a bowl of Cheerios waiting for me on the kitchen table. And you should ask her how many bowls of Cheerios that she dumped down the sink or in the trash or whatever. I don't remember ever eating the Cheerios. Why? Because every single morning of my life, as long as I could remember, we'll say from 6 years old up, I hated breakfast. Why did I hate breakfast? Because every single morning I woke up nauseous. But a lot of kids don't have that word nausea, right? They'll say their tummy hurts. They'll say they don't want to go to school. They'll say they have nightmares, but they really don't know the word nausea. Think about it. It's kind of a weird word, right? They know throw up because like gross stuff comes out, right? They know diarrhea because again, gross stuff comes out, but they really don't know the word nauseous. They might say their tummy hurts. They may say they're not hungry. And so those could be signs that your kid has parasites. Now, as a young girl, my mom put me in ballet. I was horrible. I was really bad. I remember there's a picture at my parents' house. I'm wearing a black leotard and pink tights and little pink ballet shoes, and my stomach is sticking out. It's distended. And I remember my ballet teacher saying, Lisa, hold in your stomach. Lisa, hold in your stomach. That's bad posture. Hold in your stomach. Hold in your stomach. And I was trying to, but my stomach was always so bloated that I couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't want to eat breakfast. I definitely didn't want to eat the Cheerios. And I couldn't. And I was a horrible ballerina because my posture was not one of a ballerina. My tummy was all sticking out. And I wasn't a fat kid. I was a bloated kid. And so looking back, knowing what I know now, I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder why I couldn't be in ballerina pose or whatever you want to call it, is because my stomach was always bloated. I would eat and my stomach would bloat. And in fact, it was so bad on my honeymoon. Jason and I, we went on a cruise. We started in Barcelona and then we went to Italy and France. And I remember we were in Italy, had a great time, and we're walking back into the ship and there's a metal detector. And the guy, I know a little bit of Italian. I know a lot of Spanish. I know I can understand a little bit of Italian because it's very close to Spanish, being a Latin language. And he's screaming at me in Italian and I'm not understanding. And so I don't know why, if you don't understand, that people like talk louder because you still don't understand, right? And it's actually harder to hear because they're yelling and you know that they're upset. So it makes it even more difficult to understand. So finally, he points at my belly and he goes like this, you baby, belly, baby. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this dude thinks that I am pregnant because my freaking tummy is sticking out And because I'm bloated and I'm bloated like all the time. And he thinks I'm freaking pregnant. And he thinks that if I walk through the metal detector pregnant, that I'm going to hurt the baby that I'm not pregnant with. So I was like, I looked at him and I was like, no, I'm fat. And he's like, ah. And then, of course, the rest of the honeymoon, I'm crying and I'm telling Jason I'm fat and bloated. And the Italian guy thinks I'm pregnant and he's trying to be nice to me. And it was awful. It was horrible. The coolest thing on the honeymoon was, of course, seeing France, Italy, and Spain. But also, as a chiropractor, it's very hard for me not to do chiropractic. And the acupuncturist on board found out that I am a chiropractor. And so she asked me if I would adjust the captain and the first mate and some of the crew. And so it was really cool. So I did. And the captain gave us a tour of the bridge, how you steer the ship, which was really cool. And then the acupuncturist said, hey, you can take my staff discount and I'll give it to you and you can stay another week. And believe me, I was very, very tempted to spend another week in Europe. And she goes, and you can keep adjusting us. And I'm like, cool. But I had to get back for patients. So that was a cool trip, but extremely embarrassing with the whole parasite stuff. Finally, when I learned about parasites and we found that parasites were what was causing my issues, and I finally took really, really good supplements specific to what I needed, I can have breakfast. I'm not nauseous all the time. I'm not bloated all the time. I don't get food poisoning all the time. And life is better. So some of you guys have bloating. Some of you guys have nausea. Some of you guys get food poisoning a lot. Some of you guys have digestive issues. I was just talking to a really nice professional. He's an accountant and he has ulcers. And I'm like, dude, there is a cause to your ulcers. You just didn't make ulcers. There's causes to that. And we'd love to help you find it. So then with pacemakers, so what if parasites damage the heart? We know it damages dog hearts. So can it damage human hearts? Sure. And then the medical profession. So I did a video on this, the cardiac surgeons that work on my dad. Super, super cool technology. Like surgeons are skilled physicians. Some people think because I'm a holistic doctor that I don't like the medical profession. I do. I have utmost respect to be able to stick a device through an artery in the leg, go through abdominal aorta in the stomach, like in the abdominal region, go all the way into the heart. That's amazing. And that takes skill and that takes education and that takes confront. Like we did an hour. We did a year of cadaver lab in chiropractic school. Now, as chiropractors, we don't do any kind of surgeries. We don't cut things, but we did spend one whole year in cadaver lab. And at that point, you would get assigned a body. And so the bodies don't come with clothes on. They come naked in a bag, not to be disgusting, but just to be real. They do come with toe tags. And there's things you have to do in order to do a dissection. Now, for whatever reason, chiropractic students share and they may do like one body for the whole class. But when I was in school, I don't know why. Things just changed, maybe funding or I don't even know. But it was like two people had one body. So we had this body that we had to dissect. And to understand what a surgeon has to do to place a pacemaker. So a pacemaker can have electrical leads and they can go into the ventricles to help the ventricles contract. They can have one lead, they can have two leads or two wires, and it's an amazing technology, right? And multiple cardiac surgeons helped keep my father alive, and he's getting out tomorrow, which is awesome, right? Which is really, really, really cool technology. There are pacemakers that also have defibrillators. So my father was throwing irregular beats, right? Which can be very, very bad. And you can die from that. And so there's a pacemaker that has a defibrillator. A defibrillator is like you see in the movies, the two paddles that go, everybody says clear because then they shock the heart into a normal rhythm. They have defibrillators that go into the pec muscle here, actually goes underneath the skin, and you can see it. It looks like a circle. And those pacemakers have wires that go into the ventricle and then also can deliver a electrical impulse, if you will. Another word for it would be shock, to get the ventricles to beat on time, right? And so it's amazing technology, you know? So on one hand, I really admire the cardiac surgeons that worked on my dad. I really respect them. I really appreciate them. I am amazed with the technology, you know, some of the technology that was used on him to see arteries, to place pacemakers, to look at the cardiovascular, look at the arteries and veins in the heart. Really, really amazing technology. Um, but then I feel like preventatively, you know, the whole entire medical complex, including holistic healthcare as well, is really dropping the ball on prevention, especially with heart, especially with the heart. So I'm very thankful that my father has done decades of nutrition and decades of chiropractic. His spine looks like the spine of a 30-year-old. I was actually shocked because I don't run yearly X-rays on him. I only run X-rays on patients that are in car accidents or may have a fracture, may have a break in their back, just to see what's in there. Or somebody who's just not responding, we might look at X-rays, but I don't X-ray every single patient. Some chiropractors do, and that's their technique, and that's totally fine. And so his spine looked amazing, right? The years of nutrition, I think, is the reason why at 76 he's still with us. And so my birthday present to this couple is that I have longer with my dad. One of his family members, his older brother, had his first heart attack in his 40s. So for my father to go 30 something years with no heart attacks, awesome. I have some theories on why it happened, but we can get into that I've talked about that in an earlier video. We can talk about that in a later video too. But it's definitely a present to have him tomorrow on my birthday, right? That's really, really cool. And it definitely makes you analyze, like, have you told your loved ones that you love them? Have you told them that you appreciate them? Have you told them that you're proud of them, right? Have you told your friends that you love them? I tell my friends I love you, like I appreciate you. I'm glad that you're in my life. I think we're quick as a human race to say bad things, but I think that we, whatever reason, have some barriers and some obstacles to sharing love. We're sharing love, and that's a present, right? And so definitely telling my parents that more, telling my sister that more, telling my husband that more, telling my kid that more, because you just don't know how long you're around for, right? Like, I never thought that my dad would have a major heart attack. I never thought he'd spend 33 days in the hospital. I never thought we'd be at this point. I looked at my calendar. I was looking in the month of May, and I'm like, whoa, this month was kind of crazy, right? It was May 3rd. My mom took him to the emergency room. And so um, present in this presentation, present is, are you present with your loved ones? Are you present with your spouse? Are you present with your kids? And having them in your life is a present, right? But then I also got a super cool present today. I love hearing patient testimonials. And I read this testimonial from this guy about this guy named Jonathan. I think he's listening too. And it was really, really cool. I actually was like tearing up. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Tearing up because when I first got this case, Jonathan would not let me adjust him. He wouldn't let me touch him. He would barely let me get near him. He was super, super nervous for me to be near him. Right. And so working on him and seeing his improvements went from like hard to get near him to he loves chiropractic. He loves the way that we do chiropractic, which is called sacro-occipital technique, which is involves putting triangular wedges underneath the pelvis to balance out the pelvis. He uses a handheld device called an activator to adjust the neck, the mid back, and the spine. I do some sports chiropractic. I adjust shoulders, elbows, ribs, ankles, feet, that kind of thing. And so it was a present. So Robin's on here. It was a present from Robin. So I had asked her, hey, can you write a testimonial, or can you write a success story, or can you write a win sheet for me about all the improvements that Jonathan's had? Because it's like amazing. It's like miraculous. It's game changing. It's life changing. It's rewarding. it's super cool to see, and just the changes in this guy. And he's like one of my happiest patients I've ever had in my career. He'll come in and he'll say hi to everyone and gives you like the biggest bear hug ever. And I realize the different things in your life prepare you for different moments in your life, right? So some of you guys know I played professional women's football, which on one hand was super fun and on one hand was super not good for my body. But one of the things I learned how to do is tackle, but also learn how to not get tackled, if you will, like not fall down, like stay up. And so Jonathan's a big boy, and when he gives me a bear hug, I have to use my football skills so he doesn't knock me over, and he doesn't mean to. He's just very a happy hugger, I guess. And so with my birthday being tomorrow, Dad, fingers crossed, gets to go home. I get to celebrate with patients. Very cool patient wins. I have a lot of cool patients coming in on my birthday. And so some of my friends and some people I know, they're like, I don't work on my birthday. I'm like, well, what do you do? Like everybody else is working. If it's during the week, what do you do by yourself at home? That doesn't sound fun. I'd rather do what my purpose and my mission and my goal is. And so, having birthdays, I don't know if you guys analyze where you are in life, right? To me, some people are like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's my birthday and I'm turning blah and whatever. But I also use it for a moment to reflect, like, did I accomplish everything this past year that I wanted to accomplish? Am I where I want to be? Am I living my purpose? Ed Milet, I'm kind of laughing because I look to the side. So I don't know if you guys have read this. So this is a really good book. The Power of One More, super powerful author and speaker, Ed Milet. You guys can comment if you've heard this guy. If you are afraid of cuss words, then don't listen to him. But if you like someone to tell you life story straight up, this is a great book, and he's a great speaker. I've had the honor of hearing him live a couple times actually. And so, he tells a story, or he tells what his version of heaven is. I don't know if you guys have heard this. And his version of heaven is you meet God, and standing next to God is you. And if you have fulfilled your purpose in life, if you have served, if you have fulfilled your mission, if you have become the best version of yourself, when you get to that point, you recognize the person standing next to God, right? And to me, it doesn't matter what your religion is, like everybody, my belief believes in some kind of higher power, right? Whatever your viewpoint on that is fine with me. And so if you've lived your mission and you lived your purpose and you have done what you're supposed to do, and I believe we're all here for a reason, like we're not just dropped here sporadically. I guess you could have that viewpoint too, but I'd like to believe that we are here for good and we're meant for good, and we all have our different missions and purposes and things that we contribute. So if you've lived your mission, then you see God, you see yourself, and you recognize yourself, and you give yourself a high five, and you're like, yeah, I did good work, right? I lived my mission, I lived my purpose. But if you get to that moment and the person next to you don't recognize, or the person next to God you don't recognize, it's because you didn't fulfill your purpose and you didn't live to your full potential, and you kind of, I don't want to say didn't get it right, but like you just didn't succeed, right? So with my birthday coming up, I was like, you know what? As owner of Palmer Natural Health, as the owner of Quantum Nutrition Academy, which is a academy that teaches other practitioners how to do the quantum nutrition work that we do, and helping people that have had, oh gosh, I mean, you think of symptoms head to toe, everything from problems with migraines, infertility, problems with digestion, respiration. I mean, you name a symptom or a disease, we've probably worked on it. And not that we cure or treat or anything, but we rebalance the body, figuring out what the body needs to heal. And so it's been really, really rewarding. One of my favorite things to do is teach, but also to hear the wins of the students that I've taught and how they're helping in their community. And so when I started that company a year ago, March, so it's been a bit over a year, My goal was to train up a whole bunch of practitioners. We have 2 levels launched. I wrote level 1, I wrote level 2, launched level 1, launched level 2, and then I'm working on level 3, which is going to be launched in December. But to run Palmer Natural Health as the owner and executive and head physician, and run the academy as the owner and executive and head person, staff person, developer of the curriculum, instructor, whatever, it's a lot, right? So I knew at some point that would have to come out of patient care. Now, some of you guys on here are like, what are you saying? And so for 5 years, I've been looking to be more of an executive, not because I don't love patient care. I love patient care. I love working with patients. I'm good at it, like I'm good at it. I love to see the results. I love to be a health detective and figure out why. But one of my friends said to me, he said, Lisa, you as the head physician can only see so many patients a week. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I only have so much time in my schedule working 5 days a week. I only have so many days or so many time slots to see people. He goes, but you as the owner, you can get that system, you can get that mechanism, you can run that office in a way where your practitioners and your associates can see more people because you are the person helping them and coaching them and training them. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And so one of my friends has 5 chiropractic offices, and he's serving multiple communities. And then during the pandemic, we figured out how to do quantum nutrition testing, and we're serving multiple communities outside Florida, which is awesome. And then in the academy, we're training practitioners of all different types to do quantum nutrition testing, which is awesome. Amanda says, you're amazing as a trainer and mentor. So thank you, Amanda. Robin says, you're good at it. Thank you. Oh, Tina's asking to see the book again. The book is The Power of One More, The Ultimate Guide to Happiness and Success. The Power of One More. Great book. Awesome, motivating book. But Ed Milet doesn't pull any punches. Like he's the real deal. I appreciate him. And so I thought, you know what? Awesome way to spend my birthday is seeing some awesome patients and then letting them know, some of them are watching, so don't get mad at me, letting them know like, hey, I'm coming out of patient care, guys. I'm coming out of patient care. I don't know how long. Could be permanent, which scares me. It's scary. It is scary because I realize that the person standing next to God isn't getting the job done. And the reason why I'm not getting the job done is because I don't have enough hours in the day, right? So Tuesdays are a great example. On Tuesday morning, I start working with the students in a mastermind. Then I work with the students on helping with quantum business systems. Then I run to the office, see patients. Then I run some meetings. Then I see more patients. Then I come here and run the academy, and then I do lives with you guys, right? So, yeah, Tuesdays are crazy, right? And what I want to do for the students is to make a quantum nutrition network, right? So I've been talking to people on what does that look like? There's a lot of amazing practitioners out there that that don't want to run a business. Running a business is no joke. Running through the pandemic was no joke. Hiring and firing is no joke. Marketing is no joke. Handling the finance. I mean, like as an entrepreneur, you handle a lot of stuff. One of my associates was like, Dr. Palmer, thank you for doing all this stuff because I'm happy I just can show up, see patients, and go home. I'm like, you're welcome. But it's no joke. And so whether it is a network, whether it is a franchise, whether it is a plug and play system, it's all fine and dandy for me to train people, but it's not okay for them to struggle with those other things. And so, yeah, that's why I'm coming out of patient care. So some of you guys are crying, making crying faces. Guys, don't do that. That makes it harder on me. But I guess it's good because if you're like, yay, she's not working with me, then that would be weird too. Heather says, love that you're following your calling and educating all of us to continue and heal. You're welcome. You're Heather. Beth says, sad for your patients, but happy for you. It's not sad for my patients. They have very capable associate practitioners that I've trained and worked with. Sohaila for 11 years. She's helping teach in the quantum levels. Marilee's been with me 8 years, and she helps assist as well in the classes. Renee's been with me 8 years, and she's a rock star and helps to teach too. Jason's been with me since 2005 in the practice, late 2005. Mary says no, and you guys are making sad faces. And that's how I can help more people. So it's easier for me to say it's temporary, right? So I don't know how long. It could be temporary, it could be permanent. I don't know. I think it's supposed to be permanent, but I don't want to say that because it's scary for me. And yeah, and I get it, Beth, that they'll miss me. Yes, I will miss them too. However, a lot of these patients are training the academy, which is really cool. So I can see them in the academy. I can see them when I'm doing executive functions in the office. And who knows, maybe if I'm in there, I could be like, hey, I'll work on you. But maybe they'll be like, no, I'm good, you know. So we'll see. So that is the plan for this coming year, is that I am coming out of patient care. So tomorrow is my last day working on patients. And a lot of you guys are hearing that for the first time. So now you know. And some of you guys have known because I've been talking about it for months. Some of you guys know because I've been talking about it for years. I actually started this process 5 years ago. And why has it taken 5 years? Because I've dragged my butt on it. And so no more dragging. On my birthday seems super fit to do that. So yeah, so I'll be taking an executive role. I'll be taking the training role, and then spending more time in really getting the opportunities for the practitioners in the academy up and rolling even more. So Terry says, a new chapter in your mission. It will be awesome. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Some of you guys are typing no, which is making me laugh. So we'll see. Maybe, you know, I don't know. It's tough on me. So maybe I'll be like, yeah, okay, I got that project done and I'm back. So we'll see. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be part of the practice team. I'm still going to be part of the quantum team. I'm still going to be teaching. I'll still be around. So it's not like I'm moving to Timbuktu, guys. So yes, I will be teaching more level ones. We don't have any plan for Iowa right now or Missouri. We do have one in planning for Salt Lake City. We do have one in planning, actually approval for launch in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. We do have one coming super soon in San Diego, California, July 28, 29. So yeah, so those things are all happening. So anyways, I want to come to you guys and talk about my favorite topic, parasites. So there you go, Jonathan. Yes, new moons and full moons, they can be more reactive. Yes, I'll still be doing lives. The days and times might change. Miranda says, what a wonderful birthday gift. I'm so grateful for your experience and knowledge and can't wait to learn more in the mastermind because I do struggle with those executive things. Yes. Mia says, way to go, Dr. Palmer. Thank you for all you guys' support. Thank you for being part of this mission and purpose. I appreciate each and every one of you. So with that, have a great night. Have an amazing day tomorrow, 6/7/23. Awesome day. And yeah, my request of you is to make someone's day brighter tomorrow. Have an amazing night. And if I can help you in any way, let me know. Bye, everyone. Good night.